Well, c'est la vie.
We're making Sean put more work into this than he anticipated. We're bleeding over into 2 sessions, everyone. True facts.
Okay, the rest of that I can just say. The Ascensing, healthy. His emotional state is, what knowledge is actually, screw it, I was just gonna say I didn't have to do any. I have to double check what knowledge is Truthsayer has. I'll skip that one for now. Is definitely mundane, right? Yeah, definitely mundane.
I'm glad you weren't asking us with that question. I'm like, maybe.
You do not recognize his aura. He has presence and location. You don't get details about what they are. Right arm is cybernetic. He has comlink and some accessories in his neck, or, well, you'd assume it's a comlink. You've seen enough that you can probably recognize the outline of them in the astral. Cybernetic eyes, and something in his brain, and some general, like, little lines. Oh, wait, no, you actually can't see that. So he has some cybernetic that you can't see. You know that now.
We will disregard that testimony. Strike it from the record.
Yes. His essence is lower than yours. And no astral signatures. So yeah, you got 3 successes. I really should just have you make that one in the open, because you'll always be able to figure it out from what I tell you.
I had figured it was 3 successes. Yeah. Oh, all right.
Okay, well, he'll he'll watch. Oh, as for the judge in Kitchen's role, he again has one hell of a poker face. And Twitch will know, as good as she was, she pretty much never got a good read on him. You don't know whether it's because he has some cybernetics you don't know about that really help him with that, or whether it's just ridiculously good at controlling himself. You might have even guessed magic at some time. Maybe he is active, maybe it takes some compounds for it, drugs. Yeah, it's hard to guess, but whatever it is, it doesn't seem to be in the range of natural.
And Twitch knows everything about him that was in the dossier you sent me a couple weeks ago?
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I wrote up those dossiers pretty much just for Twitch.
Alright. Well,
Or from her
go ahead.
perspective, I mean.
All right. Well, then Twitch is just gonna stand there with her jaw clenched, waiting.
Well, he'll start to raise his hand like, don't have enough chairs for you all. Sorry.
How many chairs does he have?
There's just a couple on the opposite side of the desk.
Alright. Well,
They're nice chairs. It's not it's a big enough office that he could have. I mean, he just doesn't have more than two.
Coyote will defer sitting in a chair to Vice if he would rather, and he will take Twitch's lead and stand in next to her.
If no one else is going to sit down, Vice will sit down in the comfy chair.
Trusair, sort of like, he twitches, ha ha ha, and then he sort of looks over to Twitch herself. Is going to take her cue on this, on account of being out of his element right here, and so we'll stand alongside her, leaving the orc to have both chairs.
That fat motherfucker.
Everything's coming up, Vice.
Does the Vice manage to take over both chairs? I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to prop his feet up on something, right?
I mean, I've got to relax somehow.
Well, if you do, he will not give a fuck. Pretty much everything you do, he seems to watch, but doesn't care. From Twitch's perspective, this is one of his business moments. The moments where he goes completely ice cold. He'll wait for you all to roughly get settled, then say, have a job. Wet work. One run. It'll be over. It should be over on the 28th. That's the time frame at the moment. That said, it comes with some unusual instructions and is a slightly unusual target. The individual we want you to take out is higher up, and we prefer that have agreement before you take the run. That said, and he'll make a motion to Twitch, that additional amount will be completely erased because of this, if you take this.
She'll just glare at him.
Trusair will pause and say, a higher up, so metahuman male?
Certainly.
Nods along with that. And looks to Twitch and says, I can listen to more.
Coyote just nods.
I will need that you agree to the run before I give you the details. The individual that the run will be against is one that would certainly prefer for it not to get back to him. That said, assuming the run goes well, there will be pretty much no chance of retaliation.
I'm not agreeing to any run until you tell me the target, but I can agree I'm not going to go spreading it around.
He'll give a very long look at that.
Twitch will stare right back.
Can you afford to say no?
I'm not taking any suicidal run. If that's a problem,
It's not suicidal.
I think, well, I'll be the judge of that.
Twitch, if you don't want to take the run, that's fine. I would very well happily take the amount that you owe.
How about you just tell me the target, so that I don't have to end up shooting my way out of here?
Because you're not quite as loyal as you once were. That's why I prefer to have an agreement ahead of time.
Twitch's eyes will narrow even more at that.
As you get a little bit higher up in status, you'll find that this will become more and more common. People will expect you to agree to certain things before you do it. That's sort of the whole premise of disposable assets. Now, you know perfectly well that I trust your judgment, trust your abilities. I wouldn't give you anything suicidal, nor would I give you anything that would compromise your ability to work. Trust me, this is a very, very large run that you really do want to take. That said, I'm under very specific instructions. Agree to it beforehand. 1 wet work. Wipe out what you owe, that extra. And that's it.
Fine, I'll do it, she says completely disingenuously. Simply for the sake of continuing the conversation.
See, you're perfectly capable of lying to my face and saying you'll do it when you don't intend to. Or, well, you intend to only if it suits you. I do know you very well. And then
She'll just
he'll
roll
pull
her
out
eyes at that.
And then he'll pull out a dossier and throw it on the table.
True Sarah will,
Like in an actual paper folder.
Yes, this one is in an actual paper folder.
Typical.
Trusair will leave Twitch's side to sort of like, I guess, get next to Vice so he can take a look at this.
and there are links in that one. The first link is one that would be there. The Finn Coleman file is also in it.
All right.
He'll give you that.
Now I have to ask, despite the fact that my character doesn't know anything about organized crime, given the character's popularity in the news, would it be someone that Trusair would recognize?
Go ahead and make a news roll. I don't know what specialty you have.
North America.
North America would certainly apply.
Would trids apply as well?
No, trids are more movies.
Gotcha.
And he certainly has not starred in any movies.
Right.
But what I was saying before, the Finn Coleman link would certainly be there. The rest of them would not. That's the dossier as I gave it to Aaron that Twitch would know. So if you look at those, they're out of character knowledge, but they're all things that I already gave to Aaron. As for that knowledge roll, you'll recognize his face as he was someone that been doing sort of a philanthropy stuff, normal mafiosa stuff, and it's public knowledge who he is, but details you don't know. It's not something that you've been looking into.
In that case, Trusair's eyes will widen a bit then as he gets a look at who the target's gonna be. Turns to look his head over his shoulder and says, "Twitch, I think you might really be interested in this."
Now, the short is you have, well, we don't want him killed just randomly. We want a series of events to happen before that. We'll take care of those. The short for you is we want you to hold off killing him until we give you the word. Plan currently is midday on the 28th. And we want him killed within about a 12-hour window if you can manage it. After we go ahead and give you the signal. Actually, we won't give you a signal. It's just unless we recall you before the 28th, we want him dead afternoon on the 28th. That said, he will probably be a little bit antsy before then because there's a number of things that's going to happen around the city that he won't be liking.
Will further details about his location or preferred method of demise be provided later or now?
Preferred method will be whatever you want to do. We really don't care how he dies. Making it look like an accident really won't matter one way or the other. If you can pull it off, I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt you, but it really doesn't help us. That said, we're not trying to make a message of this. This is more straight, direct, wet work. So no chopping his tongue off and shoving it down his throat or anything like that. You don't have to worry about that. As for his location, that'll be for you to find out. We won't be able to track him quite as perfectly as we'd like during this. We'll have all of our assets already tied up, which is why we're going for outside help on this.
Not much time for legwork. Quite variable if his life will suddenly be made more difficult before his end.
which is why offering 30 apiece.
Twitch's eyebrows will actually go up at that.
That's a bit of money.
Trusair will rotate his head. Don't look so surprised, Twitch. After all, he is a famed and renowned philanthropist. His disappearance would be quite a change to the city.
Looking back, if you expect to see Todd's face changed at all, nothing. Absolutely no recognition of what you said on his face at all. It's quite off-putting, actually.
Wasn't expecting anything. I'm sure Trusair has dreamt worse, and maybe seen worse, all that toxic mage and damn spirit shit and all the crazy other things that happen in Los Angeles.
Oh yes, he's just a little bit creepy. You've seen a lot worse.
Yeah, that's cool. That's creepy. Let me tell you about this perfectly clear background down in the toxics. Now that shit's crazy. Yeah. In that case, Trusair, is thinking about playing around that he's actually not going to pull out the whole sort of bargaining too much. 30,000 is a reasonable sum for him in his head, especially if a lot of legwork is going to be done to destabilize the target beforehand. Otherwise, this, renowned philanthropist would be rather hard to isolate enough to actually make a run at.
Well, there's certainly always ways you could kill him. It's just a matter of getting away afterwards.
Yes, of course. And, that's what matters the most, especially with, increasing public awareness. My goodness. I suppose that's a question. Was there anything in the news about what might have transpired? Or did that just, like with the last run? Or did Horizon just completely, it was a black ops to begin with? They already erased all the intel.
Well, you actually didn't get the police involved at all, did you? No one came in, you sort of did it perfectly quietly and then just sort of released the subject, so no media attention at all. No one seems to have even realized what the hell happened.
And only one of the guards died.
Yep. And, say their mage lived. They might have been a little okay about that, though the fact that he might have failed to protect a black ops site might have been problematic. What about any stories about that guy we left?
the guy you left in the car and just sort of drove around?
Yeah.
No, nothing about him.
Since Trusair does pay attention to the news, I thought that'd be a fair thing to ask. Alright. Getting back to what's important here. 3,000 for that. Trusair's got no further sort of questions that he wants to ask right now.
Is Coleman going to be in the picture during this run? He was the one who made me last time.
He may not. We're certain he'll stay with Rika, especially after everything starts going down. So we're expecting Rico will start recalling his most loyal, and that probably will be Coleman among them.
How are you on collateral damage? Is everyone around him expendable?
Try not to kill too many civilians. Try not to blow up too many buildings. That said, collateral damage is, other than that, a non-factor.
Well then.
Yeah, in Coyote's head, it's like, wait, no buildings, no people? What other collateral damage is there?
Well, the question more is it between surgical assassination, where it's just the one target, or kill him and his bodyguards and everyone within a 10-block radius.
Yeah, gotcha. As for Coyote, he's just standing there fairly impassively because he obviously doesn't know as much as Truthsayer and Twitch, so he's just letting them take lead. He'll do whatever they want, essentially.
Pull out the organ grinder and your monkey. Dance, Coyote.
Just don't get him a fez. He might be offended.
Don't talk about dwarven family relationships. He might be offended. Anyway, Crusader's gonna keep looking at Twitch, sort of offer a shrug. Say, do you have anything else, Twitch, or are we gonna carry about with our limited legwork time?
No, that's everything.
Well then, he'll take back the folder and offer you the door. The folder didn't contain anything that Twitch didn't already know.
Twitch will start briskly walking out and won't stop until she's outside of this goddamn building.
Truthsayer will sort of begrudgingly maintain pace, not quite as quick as Twitch is. A brisk walk for her is a brisker walk for him.
Vice will get up from his comfortable seat and follow them out.
Same with Coyote. He'll saunter out the door.
You three take care of that little virus that got installed in your comm links, or is that gonna pop up again?
I took care of it.
Yeah, I spent the last week wiping my drones and reinstalling everything. If it's still there, it would. Yeah.
Unless it magically survives a full wipe. In which case...
they're pretty much screwed anyway.
Vice? Not hearing anything you're saying, Jordan. At all.
God damn it. I had said like 4 things, but okay. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
How well?
Sir.
Fairly well.
We hear you fairly well. I can understand you.
Okay,
When-
Vice.
Just when you seem to go off, it just seems to, for me at least, I hear nothing until you come back, and I just hear you perfectly well when you come back.
It's because I'm pulling out the microphone thing out of the jack and plugging it back in, so I don't know what the problem is.
Weird.
Anyways, Vice will say, I think I took care of it. I wiped my comm link and reinstalled everything on it. I mean, I'm not good with technology or anything, but I think I got rid of it.
All right. Twitch, you know anything about the target that we might not already? I don't keep up that well with that business. I'm more of a overarching news guy.
You want me to make a knowledge mafia check?
Well, the basics is what's in the what you know is included in the dossiers. You can actually share those if you want to, and you can share pretty much all of them. Those I think 5 dossiers you got are the major players, relative major players as far as you can tell in the mafia.
All right. Well then, Twitch will explain. He's basically the big guy in the mafia in LA right now. Ever since he came here from Chicago, the guy we just talked to, he's one of his lieutenants. The guy who made me before, also one of this target's lieutenants. There's a good chance that if we come at this hard and fast the way we usually do, they'll recognize me again. Our Johnson is a vicious bastard, and he's clearly making a power play here. There was another pretty high up death in the mafia in the past 24 hours. I'm not sure if that's part of the power play, or if it's a smoke screen for it, or if it's...
I heard as much as well.
But, if we pull this off, the new big man in town will be our Johnson.
What are these... he mentioned your debts to him. What kind of strings can he pull on you if he is head man in charge?
Well, how much he's decided I owe him, they'd probably have me disappeared and repurposed in Chop Shop. Standard stuff for someone who's kitted out. You know.
Coyote will raise an eyebrow and give you an appraising look, but he won't say anything else.
In that case, Twitch is going to be somewhat of a liability in light of her familiarity with the situation if she's made. That is definitely going to tip the hand that she's involved, and while it might be forward for me to say, given what I've seen of you and what I've heard of you, Twitch, your presence might indicate a coming demise.
It would definitely indicate something, at least. If they spotted me, they'd know that something is up. Even if they're just the collateral of it. I've got a bit of a reputation with the mafia. That's not a good one.
So if you were to approach them looking friendly, they would still see something amiss.
Yeah. If anything, that might be even more suspicious. They'd probably be suspecting the dagger to come out behind the back pretty quickly, so to speak.
Understood.
Off the top of your head, you know any haunts or hangouts of this Rika? A place he might go if his world suddenly gets destabilized like it's apparently going to be within the next few days?
Would my bars and clubs with a specialty in mafia apply here?
Your knowledge mafia would apply here. Better
All right.
than bars and clubs.
Vice also has a knowledge skill in LA Mafia. Could I roll this? I just realized.
Yeah, if you have a knowledge skill in LA Mafia, sure. I did not remember that.
Neither did I, so we're in the same boat. Don't worry about it.